how can you lose when you're doing you?
It's a marathon. You're at 109 right now.
Bored in Los Angeles is an opportunity for me to do something productive while being bored in Los Angeles. So really, I'm not bored, I'm actively creating. So you are here observing, witnessing the experience of creation. Creation born out of boredom. Welcome to an episode of Bored in Los Angeles. I'm your host, Larry Wiggs, and this is what I do when I am bored. So, I just want to talk and just share some ideas. Amanda Seales. Yeah, let's just talk about Amanda Seales. Let's just talk about her. All right. For starters, I think it was 2016, 2017. It may have been 2018. I don't know exactly, but it was around that time when Amanda Seales came up on my radar. At the time, I was living and working in Saudi Arabia. Can you believe that? My name is Larry Wiggs, and I'm from Los Angeles, California, and somehow I found myself living and working in Saudi Arabia. Do you know anyone who's done that? If not, well, let me be the first, all right? So if you want content about us living in Saudi Arabia, I can tell you about that experience, okay? If you want to hear from the perspective of an Angelino, I can tell you about that too. Right now, I want to tell you about when I was living in Saudi Arabia and how I discovered Amanda Seales. It was around the time that Amanda Seales released I Be Knowing. That was her comedy set, her comedy show. I Be Knowing. It caught my attention. I came up on my radar, and I was interested because it was funny. Or all the advertisements that they put up about I Be Knowing, it interested me. I didn't know much about Amanda Seales' past history and all that kind of stuff. I came to learn more about her later. There was one flight I took. I was in Manama, Bahrain. Well, I was leaving Saudi Arabia. And if you know Saudi Arabia, you know that Bahrain is near Saudi Arabia. Bahrain, if you don't know, is the name of a country in that part of the world. So on my flight from that region back to, I don't even remember where I was flying to. I remember it was a British Airlines, British Airways, British Airlines flight. I remember that. But I watched Amanda Seales' comedy show. I found it hilarious. I thought it was very relatable, and I felt very comforted knowing that she was speaking the truth, and her truth resonated with me. I mean, sure, she's a woman, but she's a black woman, so the black experience was the overarching, it was the overriding overarch. I can relate. So I thought that was dope. So I enjoyed her comedy on that flight. Plus, the reason, it's not the reason, but I remember that flight because I was seated in a seat in a row where there was a seat next to me that was completely empty. And then there was a white woman on the other side of that seat. And I figured that it was just an open seat and we were going to just have an open seat between us where I could lean, use the armrest or whatever. But as soon as we got in air, she decided to commandeer that whole seat. So she lifted up the armrest and laid down, and I was like, oh, how dare you? You have decided to take advantage of that seat and not even consider whether or not I wanted to use that seat. I wanted to use the armrest, maybe put something there. She completely took it and started to sleep, laid there. And I was like, ugh. I didn't appreciate that. I thought that was quite rude, period. I thought that was quite rude. I'll give you another example. Not a white person. I'll just give you another example of something that was rude. I was seated on a plane, a different flight, going somewhere else. By the way, I'm Larry Wiggs, and I've traveled to 42 countries. 42, okay? I speak Spanish and Korean, so sometimes you'll hear me speak Spanish or Korean during my these videos. So I was seated near the window, and this time it was an Indian guy. Indian guy reached across me. I had the window to myself. He reached across me with his cell phone to like video record something. And I was like, this mother, I couldn't believe that. No question, excuse me, can you record this for me? He was like, I could do it myself, and I'm going to ignore the fact that you're even there. Reached over me completely. And I was like, what the hell? So for him, it wasn't rude. For me, it was completely rude. So there I was on that flight, learning about, let's go back to the British Airways flight that I was telling you about. Yeah, the rude white woman I was sitting next to took up the seat next to me. I watched I Be Knowing by Amanda Seales. It was great because in that moment I was all sorts of conflicted with this woman taking up this seat, how rude she was. I needed something to entertain myself, to entertain me, and to, I mean, I don't explode on people, but to keep me from exploding on this woman or doing anything that would embarrass me, right? I guess I play respectability politics. I'm the cool, calm Negro. I'm not gonna be the irate, protesting Negro. That's my own little conflict, right? So whenever I Be Knowing came out, that's when I learned about Amanda Seales. Then she was up forever on my radar because I was like, dang, Amanda Seales is dope. After that show, I was hooked. I went to support her. I followed up rather and supported her by buying a work of art, a poster, a painting she had made. I got a poster of the painting, a reproduction. I have that. I still have it. That's proof positive of my support of Amanda Seales back in the day. A month or so ago? I don't know how long ago it was. Within the last month, within a month, I think. Was it? It had to have been within a month.
I see Beckman.
The marathon.
This is difficult. I have the camera set up now so that the sun is not going to affect the temperature of the iPhone, of the device. You know how the temperature, how the iPhones heat up and stuff like that. So we'll see how this one goes. Welcome to another episode of Bored in Los Angeles. I'm your host, Larry Wiggs. And the last time I did this, which was 10-15 minutes ago, I was talking about Amanda Seales, and the video cut off because of the temperature of the iPhone. So I set up this little contraption to keep the phone cooler, right? It's a shade. First I went to Google. Let me tell you about that. I went to Google to say I need an iPhone sun, and then shade popped up, and I was like, yeah, that's exactly what I need, a iPhone sunshade. And then I saw that they were available on different websites, from Temu, Walmart, probably Amazon was in there. But I needed a solution right now, an immediate solution. So I looked around and I found some cardboard at home, and I used that cardboard. So we're rocking and rolling right now. I don't think I'm going to have a problem with the sun. And if this video is 10 minutes long, then that means, hey, success. I'm going to look at my watch to figure out the time, because usually I would have a cell phone, but I'm using the cell phone to record. So, all right, I'm bored in Los Angeles. I want to talk about something. What do I want to talk about? I want to talk about something, and I'm going to use B-roll from my travels to make the video more interesting, right? All right, well, why don't I just tell you about my recent travels, over the summer. All right, so June and July. Where do I begin? Well, I was working. I was working at Dorsey High School, Susan Miller Dorsey High School in Los Angeles. Um, and the work was consistent. I had a good 3-year run at Dorsey. In 2022, December, I was contacted by the Los Angeles Unified School District, and they said, we have a long-term sub position available. And I jumped on that because Dorsey High School was a school in the community. I'm familiar with the school. My sister graduated from Dorsey. My brother-in-law graduated from Dorsey. Like, his whole family from Dorsey. Like, it was a natural fit. So there I was. I signed up. Now, the job meant I would have to go to Dorsey every single day, be a long-term resident sub. That meant I wasn't teaching any particular subject, but I had to be available every day to go wherever they put me. So that's what happened. They put me wherever, in a math class one day, a chemistry class the next day, a science class the next day, English class the next day, whatever. And I survived over the course of 3 years just showing up at Dorsey pretty much every day. Some days I couldn't take it and I was like, I'm not coming in today. I wasn't sick. I was just like, I can't do it today. And then they told me, the office staff said, you're not a sub so that you can decide what days to work. No, you have to be here every day. And I was like, oh my gosh. That's when I realized about becoming a teacher, how I discovered, like, that's rough. That's a rough job, because even teachers they work within the confines of the curriculum. You can't go off subject and do what you want to do. You can't be like, I have a master's degree. I've got a bachelor's degree. I've got a master's degree. Just listen to me. I'm going to tell you about the world. No, you can't just tell people about the world. It's got to be related to the curriculum, and it's got to be week by week, month by month, semester by semester. So I was like, wow. Especially being a substitute, entering the classroom, I was like, I don't know what the curriculum is for this particular class. I just know what the assignment is that the teacher left or didn't leave. Like, oh my gosh. I'm not even going to talk about everything I encounter with the students. You know, the behavior problems, behavior issues, when you're dealing with a particular community, a particular demographic, yeah, you're going to find that they have unique problems. But if you're there on a regular basis, then your presence can override that. They will see you consistently and learn to respect you and be like, well, he's not a fly-by-night cat. He's here today, he'll be here tomorrow. He'll be here next. I have to see this guy often. And then they came to respect me, so it was all good. They see me and say, Mr. Wiggs, give me my props, you know. Not all of them. You know, some kids have greater needs than others, but it was, you know, you do what you can. All right, so 3 years of consistent work at Dorsey High School, right? Beautiful experience. Looking back, it was a beautiful experience. When the summer began, they hired a new teacher. The last week of school, they hired a teacher. Oh, wait, I forgot. So I was teaching Spanish. They gave me the Spanish classroom because the position was unfilled. They didn't have a Spanish teacher. So I knew some Spanish, and I've been practicing my Spanish recently, and I said, I can take on that challenge. I could do that. And they said, here, you've got the Spanish class. So I had the Spanish class for a good 8 months, I think. I think it was about 8 months. I want to say 8 months. I could be wrong. But anyhow, I had the class. I was their teacher. They had to deal with me. I was grading them. I was recommending grades. I did that, okay? But then the last week of school, they hired a teacher. He came in. He was a great guy. And it was dope because he told me, he said, you've done a great job with your students. Your students are learning. They're actually engaging, using the language. This is dope. The camera's moving around because this wind, the shade that I created, it's moved because of the wind. The wind is kicking up and it's moving the phone, which is not cool. but I think the phone is not overheating, which is also very good. But this is what happens. So now that I have a sunshade, I need a wind shade now to prevent the phone from moving. All right, I'm gonna keep going though. So there I was, the last week of school. We're about to go into the vacation. I was getting paid well. That was the beauty. That's the beauty of working 5 days a week. You get a nice check. Not only was I getting the substitute income, but I was a teacher, so I was getting paid like a teacher. That was beautiful. Day in and day out. It was a unique situation, and there I was doing the work. Some students got on my nerves. They said, "Oh, they hired you. You've got more responsibility and less pay." Possibly, but for what I was earning more than I could have been earning doing some other jobs. So I was like, "Look, leave me alone. Miss me with all of that." Okay. So anyway, vacation rolled around. I had to tell you all of that just to start telling you about vacation. Man, vacation rolled around. The week before vacation, they hired another teacher. He came in, but I didn't lose my job, but it was a point of transition. So we were in the classroom together for about a week. Then what happened? Then when vacation started in the summer of June, I was like, in June 2025, 2 months ago, I was like, I'm ready to travel. That's what I do. I travel, right? Recently, that's what I do. And I'm like, let me get on a plane and get out of here. So I made sure to get out of Dodge. I left Los Angeles the day after school ended. I think August 10th. We were free August 11th. I was on a plane August 11th out of here. Yep, and I got to Japan August 12th. So I stayed in Japan. First week in Japan, I stayed in Tokyo for first 48 hours, and then I took the bullet train down south to Fukuoka. I spent about a week in Fukuoka before going to South Korea. And then I lived in South Korea for 9 years. I was an English teacher. I taught there for 9 years. And then I just went back to Korea just to say hi to some friends. So I was there only for about 4 days. 2 days in one city, maybe 5 days. 5 days, 4 nights. 2 nights in one city, 1 night in another city. No, maybe 6. 6 days. Yeah, it was about 6 days. I did 2 nights down south, 2 nights up north, 1 night in the middle. So 2, 4, 5. That was 5 nights, 6 days. I did 6 days in Korea. I didn't have a particular itinerary that I was stuck to. Like, I changed it. I was like, all right, I'll take that flight. I'll go here when I do that. And then, everything was flexible. And the wind is kicking up. All right. So then after Korea, then I went to Thailand. Thailand, I stayed like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks in Thailand. I remember because I stayed in Bangkok for about a week. And then I know I stayed in, Bangkok for a week, maybe 4 days there, about 3 weeks. I was in Thailand for about 3 weeks. And after that, I flew back to Japan because I didn't want to come back to Los Angeles. I didn't want to come back to this immediately. I was like, it was rough just going to work every single day, not traveling. I'm gonna have to end this quickly because I lost my shade. The wind kicked up. All right. So I didn't want to come back to this. And then after I came back, then I came back to Los Angeles. I was in Los Angeles for like 24 hours before I went to Colombia. I have a contact in Colombia, and I went there where I taught English for 3 weeks. So my whole vacation over 2 months, I basically stayed away from America for 2 whole months, and it worked out beautifully. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoyed listening to me talk about my vacation and all. I got to get this phone out of the sun because I lost my shade. Peace and blessings.
How can you lose when you're doing you?
It's a marathon. You're at 109 right now.
October 9th. That's where it starts.
You see, it's the same old thing.